will be giving you a short introduction about you to the audience, and after we'll proceed on, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to all the participants to this webinar on Campus to Corporate, where it hardly deals with the interview and essential qualities that are needed for pharmacy graduates to excel in their careers in the future. On behalf of Chebrol Hanmaya Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I wholeheartedly welcome Mr. Prasad Bhagwat, who is the head of Industry and Institute Interactions and Placements, Sri Sant Krupa Institute of Engineering and Technology. He will be with us today as he tries to give his expertise knowledge on training the students on various skills that are required for their corporate placements. I once again invite all the participants to this webinar, and Chebrol Hanmaya Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences is organizing this webinar in association with the Training and Placement Cell of the Institute, Internal Quality Assurance Cell, and also the Institution Innovation Council of CHIPS. This is also being associated with Indian Pharmaceutical Association Education Division. Now, without any delay, I request Dr. V. Venkatrao to please introduce the speaker to the audience.
Good morning to all the participants.
Good morning, sir.
I welcome you all to the one-day webinar on Campus to Corporate, a successful interview and essential qualities needed for fresh pharmacy graduates. So in this regard, now I request today's speaker, Prasad Bhagwat Garu. So sir is currently working as Head Industry Institute Interaction and Placements at Sri Shanti Krupa Institute of Engineering and Technology. So sir is having work experience in teaching, skill development, training and placements, production, sales and various corporate training. So sir is having more than 15 years of training and placement activities experience, and also sir is having 2 years industry experience. So during these years, sir is handled various training and placement activities for several engineering and pharmacy and various MBA colleges. And sir handled the responsibility as a management consultant for Prakriti Medicines Private Limited, and sir conducted several training sessions on marketing for Ayurvedic pharmaceutical companies at Indu Pharma, Jejuri, and Leadgen Ayurvedic Private Limited, Pune. And sir conducted several training sessions for various engineering and pharmacy colleges. So as resource person. So with this brief introduction, now I request Prasad Bhagwat sir to continue the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sir, the session will go up to 12:30. Will it be okay?
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So just allow me to share the screen. I can share my screen. Once you allow me for screen sharing, I can
already you are co-host, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
A very good morning to you. Before I go ahead for my further presentation, first of all, I'm very much thankful to Principal Sir, Dr. Vidyanand Sir, all the senior professors, HODs, and of course, my dear students, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with you on a very special subject, that is campus to corporate. Students, campus to corporate, in fact, it's a journey. And as you know that being as a pharmacy profession, pharma industry is always appreciating the real talent, but at the same time, students, we need to develop our skills. So today's my session is going to focus on how our journey has to be from campus to corporate. Students, as you can see here, my session is also going to talk about not only interview, but as you can see here, the title I have changed my session, that is the successful interview, how my interview has to be an successful interview. Students, my session has been divided into 16 different parts, 15 to 16 different parts. Initially, we'll discuss about the nature, present status, and contribution of pharmaceutical industry. Then we'll have a discussion on what basic preparation is required from our side. We'll have also discussion on which are those commonly asked interview questions, how we can present ourselves, what etiquettes and manners are required. We'll also have a discussion on what are the challenges ahead for the freshers once they join the industry. We'll have also a discussion on which are those essential qualities which are needed for a fresh pharmacy graduate, not only to enter, but to further progress also. Then we'll have also discussion on the positive attitude and how we can prepare our CV. Students, before I go ahead for my further presentation, let me offer my sincere thanks to my parents and especially my teachers and all my well-wishers also. As you can see here, we grow like as a small plant, and when we were growing, we need nourishment, we need encouragement, we need support, we need guidance from all the members of the society. So whatever that I have achieved in my life, it is only because of my parents and especially my teachers and all my well-wishers. And I would be failing in my duties if I do not offer my sincere thanks to them. So once again, thank you very much to all of you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with this budding pharmacist. Students, initially will discuss about the nature of pharmaceutical industry. Before that, students, can you see here this chamber? I have purposefully kept this chair vacant. I know that you are from such a reputed, highly reputed institute, and I'm sure that your professors and teachers are taking a lot of efforts to train you, to give you the required academic inputs. They're also trying to train you by arranging various guest lectures also. And I'm sure that you could be the right person, you could be the fortunate person, you could be the luckiest person who can grab this opportunity. So that's why, students, I have kept this chair vacant. Now you can understand you are the right person who is going to grab this opportunity. And I'm 100% sure that you will also succeed in your future life. So students, this vacant chair is for you. Now, to grab this vacant position, what preparation is required, what etiquettes and manners is required, and how we can go ahead to grab this opportunity, that we will see in my today's presentation. Students, as you know that whenever any opportunity is there into industry, not only industry, but into academic field also, we need to prepare our CV. As you can see here, this is the picture of microscope, and being as a student of pharmacy, you can understand the importance of microscope because we have a special subject, pharmaceutical microbiology. So students, what is the use of microscope? Microscope is generally used, is mainly used to understand or to study the minute detail structures. It is used to study the minute detail structures. So just imagine, students, just imagine, for any interviews, we have to prepare a resume. And if we keep our resume under this microscope, what will happen? If we keep our CV under the microscope, just imagine, I'm sure that there might be some typing mistakes, there might be some grammatical mistakes, or there might be some mistakes which could be in the form of comma or even full stop, or the way by which, the way in which the entire CV has been arranged, that needs to be assessed from our side. So students, Before we go ahead for any presentation, what is the topmost priority from our side? The topmost priority is that we need to prepare our CV and just find out, or we need to carry out the proofreading of our CV so that it should be free from all these mistakes. What is self-awareness? In general, we'll discuss about it. It is nothing but paying attention to yourself. I know that we all of us have aspirations for our family, for our career, uh, and for our life also, of course. But in general, what is the self-awareness? Self-awareness is nothing but understanding your own personality. So student self-assessment or self-awareness is the best assessment where you will be able to understand, or you will be able to study, or you will be able to find out which are the areas where your performance is up to the mark or even better than mark, and which are those areas where we need to improve our performance. So students, before we go ahead for any of these interviews, what is required? The thing is that we need to carry out our own self-assessment, or we need to carry out our own self-awareness. Just imagine your day, students, when you had taken the admission for this highly respected professional course. Initially, the feeling might be that it's a difficult course, how I'm going to complete it. But I'm sure that students, with the inputs of professors of your institutes, you have grabbed this, you have completed rest of the years of your course, and now you have entered into a final year of your course. And this kind of feeling has been generated now that I can do it, or I will do it. So such kind of feeling is required, students, whenever you go and appear for any of these interviews, especially corporate interviews. This kind of feeling has to be there that I can do it, or I will do it. As you can see here, students, these are the students who are waiting for their interviews. Because generally, if you look at the opportunities which are available outside, there are a number of departments in the pharma industry and number of opportunities are available. But especially in the production and quality control, the opportunities as compared to other departments, opportunities are less. Opportunities are less means number of vacancies are less. So these are the students who are waiting outside for the interview. Now, students, initially will discuss about the nature, present status, and contribution of pharmaceutical industry. As you know that India is one of the fastest growing economies of the world, and contribution of our Indian pharmaceutical industry has been recognized not only at a domestic level, but even at the global level also. Its contribution is highly appreciated and recognized also. Being as a pharmacy students, as you know that these are the different segments of our pharma industry: generic drugs, OTC medicine, bulk drugs, contract research, biologics. So these are the different segments of our industry. Students, how we can measure the health of, how we can measure the progress of any country? Of course, financial situation is also one of the most important indicator. But apart from that, students, healthcare is also one of the important indicator of our country's development. So healthcare indicates the nature of development of our country. Students, I am very much fascinated with this sentence, in fact. If you look at this sentence, pharmaceutical industry is characterized by maintenance of high quality standards as it concerns with the lives of the people. Students, can we compromise on the quality of the medicines? No, not at all. We cannot compromise on the quality of the medicines. In fact, you will be surprised to know that this is the only industry where highest number of regulatory authorities are there. Where highest companies are working also consistently to improve the healthcare of the people. Healthcare of the people. Students, if we compare the situation which was around 25 years back, as you can see there are many medical discoveries, right from whether that discovery is a big or small. but it has helped us to increase the life expectancy. And because of students, which we are enjoying a better quality of life today. If we look at the diseases which are happening at the global level, mainly these diseases, deaths or diseases, they are due to infectious diseases. They are due to infectious diseases. So our industry is also contributing a lot in terms of providing anti-infective drugs, not only to our country, but to the rest of the world also. We are providing good quality of anti-infective drugs. So students, if you look at the people around you, or if you look at your near dear relatives around you, you can see that there are many people who might be suffering from blood pressure. There might be people who might be suffering from diabetes also, or there might be some other diseases and conditions also. So can we live without medicines? Of course, you could be the luckiest one if you do not require medicines. But the people, those who are suffering from diabetes, those who are suffering from blood pressure, they need to take their medicines regularly as per the doctor's advice. So students, what I mean to say is that medicine has become an integral part of our healthcare system today. And it's absolutely unimaginable that we can live without medicines. Apart from that, students, nowadays healthcare awareness is also increasing and people are ready to spend on quality healthcare, and that itself creates a huge market potential for pharmaceutical industry. If you look at these data, students, if you look at the medicine spending in India, you will be surprised to know that this medicine spending in India might grow to 9 to 12% in next 5 years. And probably that could be the reason that India might be one of the top 10 countries in the world as far as medicine spending is concerned. Students, apart from this, nowadays you can see that there is a change in eating habits, there is a change in lifestyle also. And because of such lifestyle changes, there has been a progressive growth in the lifestyle related diseases segment also. Students, as far as health insurance is concerned, earlier people, those who are residing at metro cities or at or those who are sitting at or those who are residing at a town, only those people were aware about the health insurance. But now, even though the people, those who are living at a taluka level or even at some rural place also, the health insurance has people are now aware about the health insurance. So there is an increase in penetration of health insurance, and this also could be one of the factor which increases in the spending of pharmaceutical products. Students, apart from this means there is an increase in health insurance, there is a change in eating habits and lifestyle, and there is a healthcare awareness has also been increased. Apart from these, students, you can see that cardiovascular, anti-diabetic, antidepressant, and anti-cancer, these are the four major areas where you can see a promising or prospective growth is expected in next 3 to 5 years. Cardiovascular, anti-diabetic, antidepressant, and anti-cancers. Students, pharma industry is not only contributing in our field, but apart from that, the allied industries, it has also helped to develop the ancillary industries. We are getting good earning from the experts also, and ultimately it contributes well into our GDP also. Students, recently our industry has achieved a historic milestone, and because of that milestone, our industry is now at a leadership position. If you look at the turnover of our Indian pharmaceutical industry, it has crossed more than 1.4 lakh crore rupees in 2019. But if you look at the total turnover has crossed 3 lakh crore rupees. And currently, this industry is growing at a rate of 7 to 8% in a drug sector and 15 to 16% in a medical device sector. I'm sure that being as a pharmacy students, you are quite aware of all those different 5 public sector undertakings which works under the control of Government of India. These undertakings are Hindustan Antibiotic Limited is there, Karnataka Antibiotic Limited is there, Bengal Chemical and Pharmaceutical is there, Indian Drugs and Pharmaceuticals, and Rajasthan Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Limited is there. So these are the different 5 public sector undertakings which works under the control of Government of India. If you look at the position of our industry has achieved a third largest position in the world in terms of volume and 10th largest position in terms of value. Look at the standing of our pharmaceutical industry at a global level. Students, being as a pharmacy students, you are the luckiest one, you are the fortunate one, because we are representing that industry who has been called as the pharmacy of the world. Now, the question will be in your mind is that why we are called as a pharmacy of the world. There are two main important reasons, students. One is that the cost incurred on the manufacturing of these drugs and pharmaceuticals is almost 50% low if we compare it with the rest of the countries. And more than that, if you look at the quality of drugs, there are there are many regulatory authorities are there, and these regulatory authorities are trying to control, or they are maintaining the highest quality standards of our drugs and pharmaceuticals. So on one hand, students, we are one of the biggest supplier of low cost vaccines in the world. And at the same time, if you look at the price is almost 50% low. And if you look at the quality is at par with the rest of the drugs and pharmaceuticals which are normally used in the world. So students, that's why our industry has been rightly named as the pharmacy of the world. More than that, as you might be knowing that there are Pradhan Mantri Bharatiya Jan Aushadhi Kendras are also there, and they are being opened all over the country, which through which we can get the generic medicines. If you look at the US FDA approved plants, you will be again surprised to know that India is one of the second largest number of US FDA approved plants outside the US, and we are one of the biggest supplier of DPT, BCG, and measles vaccines also. As you know that the drugs which are used in the treatment of AIDS, they are called as antiretroviral drugs. And we supply more than 80% of these drugs to the rest of the countries also. If you look at the total turnover, if you look at the export also, you will be happy to know that we supply drugs and pharmaceuticals to more than 200 countries in the world. Look at this figure, students. Look at this data. We supply these medicines to more than 200 countries in the world. And that to those countries where market is highly regulated. Countries like US is there, West Europe, Japan, and Australia is there. But in all those countries, students, US is the key market for our Indian pharmaceutical firms. So students, we are really happy that if you look at the total contribution, if you look at the status of our industry, that's why our industry has been rightly named as the pharmacy of the world. More than that, students, we are the largest provider of generic drugs globally, and around 50% of global demand of various vaccines is being fulfilled by our Indian pharmaceutical industry. So students, whenever you go for any of these interviews, whether it might be in production, quality control, regulatory affairs, clinical research, R&D, anywhere, first of all, we must know what is the present position of our industry and what is the contribution of Indian pharmaceutical industry, not to our country, but to the rest of the world also. Students, as you can see here, this is a pharmaceutical value chain. And pharmaceutical value chain, as you know, that it starts from drug discovery. From drug discovery, then we go to drug development, manufacturing, distribution, and finally we enters into a sales and marketing. This sales and marketing is also called as medico marketing. Now, students, we will come to our important topic, that is how this journey is from campus to corporate. Students, as you might have experienced that, or you might be knowing that whenever any company comes to campus recruitment, initially they give their details about the job profile and what type of students they are expecting from institutes. So initially, as per their criteria, students, just imagine, company there was only one vacancy, and for that vacancy, student, company has shortlisted 20 students. Just imagine, for that vacancy, company has shortlisted 20 students. Now, out of those 20 students, the screening was initially for 20 students. Out of those 20 students, company has shortlisted these 5 students. These are the 5 students that company has shortlisted for second round of interview. Now, these 5 students, the best part is that these 5 students have got similar academic career. Academic career means their marks are almost similar to each other, or their performance in the interview was quite similar to each other. Then what is that has made this second person who has got selected in the industry? On what basis he has been selected, and on what basis the rest of the 4 persons were rejected? That's the basic main question comes in everyone's mind. So students, today in my presentation, we are going to see that why this second person has been selected and why this rest of the 4 person has been rejected. At the beginning of my session, students, only I will tell you, even though their marks means their academic career is quite similar to each other, this student has been selected only on the basis of etiquettes and manners, only on the basis of the preparation that he has carried out, and on the basis of the skills that he has acquired in his 4 years of course of pharmacy profession. So students, on what basis this person has been selected? He has been selected on the basis of etiquettes and manners, and on the basis of his skills and the preparation that he has carried out, thorough preparation, which has helped him to go for second round of interview. Students, as you know, that pharmaceutical industry is a field of innovation and is well known for appreciating the real talent. As far as innovation is concerned, student, as I told you in the beginning, the medicines or the treatment which is available on today, this such kind of treatment was not available around 20 or 25 years back. But look at the contribution of scientists. Look at the contribution of scientists, especially in the development of this COVID-19 vaccine also. Look at the situation, or just imagine the situation, or just recollect the situation which was around 1.5 years back. There was no vaccine available for COVID-19. But look at the today's situation, students. Of course, even though the vaccine is there, we have to take utmost care. But what I mean to say is that our industry is a field of innovation, and look at the contribution of pharmacy professions, those who are involved from the microbiology profession or from veterinary profession or from medical community also. Look at their efforts. We have succeeded in developing a COVID-19 vaccine also. So what I mean to say is that in general, just I have given an example of COVID-19 vaccine. What I mean to say is that this is the industry is called as, this industry is also called as knowledge-based industry. It is a field of innovation, and at the same time, student, it is well known for appreciating the real talent also. Students, there are many examples in life. They have started their career as a production trainee or as a quality control trainee. But at the time of retirement, many of them were retired as a GM of the company, or as a managing director of the company, or as a factory manager of the company, or some of them, they have started their own pharmaceutical manufacturing units also. So what I mean to say is that, students, this is the field, this is the industry which is known for its innovation, and it appreciates the real talent. Students, another interesting factor for any industry, not only pharma, you can take the example of any industry, whether it is a pharma, biotech, agriculture, construction, any industry or any organization, there are two main objectives. So which are those two objectives? Students, one is that, of course, any company has to earn the profit to run their business and to progress further also. The second objective is that, student, company always wants to progress and expansion. Company always wants the progress and expansion. So students, if we look at the pharmaceutical industries, many pharmaceutical industries, earlier focus was on the sales and marketing activities, but now this focus has been changed, and the focus is on R&D activities also. So with these R&D activities, companies are trying to find out new innovative products so that they can introduce these new innovative products into a market also, and through which they can gain the better market share. What I mean to say is that students, what are the two main objectives of any company? Any company. One is that students, company wants to earn the profit. And second thing is that they are always looking for progress and expansion. So all the peoples, those who are involved in this recruitment or selection process, all the officials, those who are involved into this recruitment and selection process, they are quite experienced people. They are smart, they are sharp, and within first 5 to 6 minutes itself, they can understand your candidature, they can read your personality. So what is the main basic hidden objective of any organization? The basic main objective of any organization is that they are always looking for good people. Good people for what purpose? Good people for progress and good people for companies expansion. You can see that there are many examples in our country also. These companies, they have started their manufacturing activities at a very small location in our country. But slowly with their progress, now they have expanded their activities at a global level also. So students, if the company's main objective is of a progress and expansion, what type of candidates that company will prefer? Company will prefer those candidates whose nature is of a progressive nature or whose attitude is of a progressive attitude. So students, please keep in mind that, please keep in mind that, please keep in mind that whenever you go for any of these interviews, please note that your nature or your candidature has to be appeared or has to be reflected in a such a way that your entire personality or your entire resume should look in a progressive manner. Your attitude should appear in a progressive attitude, students. Understand? Students, we all of us have two goals. One is a short-term goal, other is a long-term goal. What are the short-term goal? Your short-term goal might be to secure a good marks in your examination. Some of you might have decided to get a good internship certificate from the industry where you are going to carry out your internship. Some of you might be interested in getting a sports certificate also. So there are n number of short-term goals that we generally decide. But students, this is the right platform. This is the right junction where we have to decide our long-term goals also. So before deciding our long-term goals, students, there is a one request from my side. There is a one request from my side. As you know that whenever we get selected for any of these companies, not only pharma, for any industries, initially the senior officials from the company, they provide you the required training. So while providing the training, students, they invest their time, they invest their money, and they invest their energy also. So here is a one request from my side, students. If you get selected for any of these organizations, please don't leave that organization within a span of 1 year. Please don't leave that organization within a span of 1 year. There are three reasons, students. One is that company has invested their time, money, and energy to train you. So what will happen if you leave that job? Of course, it will have a bad impact on the reputation of the organization also. And second thing is that students, company will lose one of the important trained human resource. Understand? Second thing is that students, to bring any company to the institute for campus recruitment, institute has to take a lot of efforts. Institute has to build that relationship with the industry to bring all those companies to the institute. So students, if you leave that job after training, again, it will have a very bad impact on the reputation of institute. That relationship there will be an impact on that, negative impact on that relationship. And third thing is that students, any experience which is below 1 year at the time of initial stage of your career will not be appreciated if you leave that job earlier or within a span of 1 year. Because at least you require 2 years to learn the functioning of the not only your department but you can get an opportunity to learn the functioning of other departments also. Of course, I can understand that if there are some problems, if there are some serious concerns or issues are there, you can leave that job. But generally, it is expected that you need to be there at that industry or the company where you have been selected at least for a period of 1 year. Students, as I told you in the beginning, the people, those who are involved into recruitment or selection process, through your first 5 to 6 minutes of your interaction itself, they can understand your nature, whether your nature is of a progressive nature or whether your attitude is of a progressive attitude. There is one more request from my side, students. First was that how long that you are going to associate with that company, and second is that, students, you need to reflect team skills. You need to reflect the team skills from your CV or biodata. So whenever you prepare your CV, it is utmost important that you need to mention the details of the different activities where you were the participants. There might be some sports activities, or there might be some activities which were organized by your institutes also. Activities like, there might be activities like seminar might be there, workshop might be there. So if you have participated in all those activities, please mention in your CV about your team skills. Understand? Self-discipline, integrity, honesty, and professionalism. Students, these are the crucial skills for the development of the professional. Can we compromise on the self-discipline? No, not at all. We cannot compromise on the self-discipline. If you look at the people, those who have achieved the best positions in the corporate world, not only corporate world, but if you look at their positions in the rest of the areas also, why these people are at that top position? It is only because of self-discipline. So students, there is no compromise on the self-discipline. Please keep in mind that. Please keep in mind that there is no compromise on the self-discipline. Students, another interesting factor that you will be judged in the initial stage of your career or within first 5 to 6 minutes is that how well you communicate with the officials is also important. Ability to communicate effectively. I'm purposefully using this word effectively. You will be knowing that, or you are knowing that as you get selected, training will be provided to you. After completion of your training, you will be associated with a team of your subordinates, and you need to report to your higher authorities also the days of your work. Once you complete your work, you need to submit a report to your higher authorities also. So not only your oral communication, but your written skill has to be also good, or it will be highly appreciated in the industry. So students, ability to communicate effectively is required nowadays. Strong computer skills. You will be surprised to know that when we were graduated long back, around 28 years back, we used to get the jobs only on our mark sheets those days. But now the situation has been changed. Today's situation is a demanding situation. You need to be perfect, not only in your basic domain knowledge, but apart from that, you need to communicate effectively, and you should have strong computer skills also. Nowadays, if you visit any organization, not only pharma, you go for any organization, any company, everywhere you will see that computers are being highly used. If you go and visit any bank, you can see that computers are being used. If you go and visit any of these companies, everywhere computers are being highly used. Students, some of the companies, they go for psychometric testing. Some companies have a method that they follow this process also, the earlier process of campus recruitment also. But apart from that, some of the companies, they go for psychometric testing. So with the help of psychometric testing, they can find out your mental capabilities and your aptitude. Understand? So there are different methods are being used to carry out this psychometric testing. Verbal reasoning is there, logical reasoning, numerical reasoning. So there are different tests which are being generally used to carry out this psychometric testing. Students, can you read this last sentence on this slide, particular slide? 3H attitude. What is this 3H attitude? Just think about it, students. What is this 3H attitude? This 3H attitude is nothing but hand, head, hand and head. Third one I am going to tell you later. Students, if there is a good combination of hand and head, I'm sure that your performance will be good or it can be better. But if there is a good combination of hand, head, and the third one is heart. I'm going to talk about heart, students. Heart means involvement. Heart means involvement. So if there is a good combination of hand, head, and heart, I'm sure that your performance will be much better. In fact, you can produce or you can give the one of the improve. So what is required, students, nowadays to further progress in life? You need to have this 3H attitude. 3H attitude is required. That is combination of hand, head, and heart. Heart means involvement. Students, can you see here? Here I have taken a picture of ocean where you can see that one person is trying to take a leap into that ocean. So pharmaceutical industry is like an ocean, student. It's like an ocean. Why? Because number of departments are there, students, where you are eligible to apply for number of jobs. Manufacturing, quality control, R&D, clinical research, vigilance, pharmacovigilance, sales and marketing, technology transfers, regulatory affairs. So number of departments are there in this pharmaceutical industry, students. But what is required? The thing is that, students, as initially I told you, why this person was selected. This person was selected only on the basis of his etiquettes and manners and on the basis of his skills. The skills that he has achieved during the 4 years of his education has helped him to get into a final selection list. So pharmaceutical industry is a skill-based industry. Pharmaceutical industry is a skill-based industry where you need to be specialized in your work. So concentrate on your skills also. Apart from your basic academic knowledge, basic domain knowledge, what is required? You need to be perfect in your skills also. So try to develop some additional skills. Students, there is one more request from my side. One is that earlier 2-3 requests that we had discussed earlier. Another request is that, students, we need to decide about our career. If you have decided to go for higher education, no problem. But if you have decided to join the industry, think about it twice, thrice, and think about the department in which you are going to make your career. Understand? I have seen some students, initially they join the industry, they join into sales and marketing, but after a few months they go into production. After production, they go to somewhere else. So this should not happen with our career. We have to decide about our career, students. Understand? Students, whenever any company comes to campus recruitment, company gives the details about the job profile or job description. Company give the details about job profile or job description. Or if you look at the advertisements which generally appears in the newspaper, you can see that company give the details about the job description. Through job description, what we can find out? Why we need to have a clear understanding about the job profile and job description? Students, there are two reasons. One is that if you read out the job profile and if you understand it carefully, you will be able to know the exact requirement of the company, one, and what skill set that company is expecting from you. That also you will be able to find out. So my request to all of you is that students, whenever you prepare your biodata, whenever you prepare your resume, first try to read out your job profile and job description very carefully. There is one more area, students, in which I would like to bring your attention. We all are now freshers. We all are now freshers. So what will be your preference? Whether your preference goes to job role, whether it goes to salary, or whether it goes to brand name. Many of you might be thinking that, sir, the job role is important. Most of you might be thinking that, sir, salary and brand name is important. But if you ask me, my preference goes to job role. Why job role is important at the initial stage of your career? Because with the help of better job role, you can have better opportunities. You can get better, what I can say, opportunities to work in the different departmental heads of the organization. You will be able to develop good relationship with the heads of other organizations also, and through which students you can learn a lot. With the better job role, students, you can get an opportunity to learn the functioning, to learn the applications of many of these highly sophisticated instruments which are being used in the industry. So students, at the initial stage of your career, don't look at the salary part or even brand name part also. Look at the job role, what job role that you are going to accept, or what job role has been uh, offered by the company. Understand? Student, just for your understanding, here I have given these three functions. If you join any production department, what will be your activity? One is that, of course, we have to carry out the manufacturing activities. Second thing is that we need to monitor and implement the safety practices. Can we compromise on safety practices? No, not at all. We cannot compromise on safety practices. This third function is very important, students. Just imagine or just understand why company has given the advertisement. There might be two reasons. One is that company might be looking for further expansion, or company might not be satisfied with the present person, the one who is in charge of those activities. There might be some rejection, or company might be looking for some person who can take more initiatives, who can learn some other activities also. So the one who is willingness to learn, and company is always looking for those person who can produce the consistent results. Students, here purposefully I have used the word consistent results. Why company has given the advertisement? Because company is looking for bright students like you who can produce the consistent results. To achieve consistent results by following standard practices, it is highly required. Achieve consistent results by following standard practices. So there should not be any compromise on the quality of the medicines at all. So we need to follow all the SOPs there which are being given by the company while carrying out these manufacturing activities. Students, before we appear for any of these interviews, as I said, our first preference will go to the job role. The second thing is that students, we need to clearly understand the job function or job description. Accordingly, we can prepare our resume. But before appearing for any of these interviews, what is required? You need to visit the company's official website. You need to visit the company's official website. Why we need to visit the website, company's official website? You can get better understanding about the company profile. Who are the directors of the company? Who is actually leading that company? Or into which business area that this company is operating? We can find out the different products which are being manufactured by this industry, by this company. And We can find out the different branch locations where this company is having the manufacturing activities. So students, I have seen in my life, some students are really good in their skills. They are good in their academic also. But the unfortunate part is that they have not seen the company's official website. So whenever you go for any of these interview, students, please visit the company's official website before appearing for any of these interviews. Students, as I told you, the HR managers or HR officials are also involved in this recruitment selection process, and they will try to find out whether your goals, whether your objectives is matching with the company's vision and mission statement. If there is a good, what I can say, compatibility between or the similarity between your goals and the company's goals or objectives, definitely the chances of getting selected are more. Students, there is one more area on which I would like to bring your attention, especially on this particular slide. You can see that, especially for the freshers, there are some commonly asked interview questions. I can tell you, or we can discuss some more of these commonly asked interview questions in my further slides. But which are those questions? What do you know about us, or why do you want this particular job? These are some of the questions which are being asked in the interview. We need to prepare for these questions before we actually appear for the interview. As per your job profile, students, find out the areas or find out some commonly asked interview questions so that there will not be any hurry at the last moment. Students, there is one common question in most of these interviews that they will ask you about, tell us about your strengths and weaknesses. While presenting your strengths, present it in a very humble manner. Remember that. Present it in a very humble manner. And while describing your weaknesses, you can present those weaknesses where chances of growth is there, where chance of improvement is there. Here I can give you an example. Students, if you are good in your communication skills, of course, that is your strength. But even sometimes it may happen that even though your communication skills are good, you might be lacking in your presentation skills, slightly lacking. So that can be your weakness. But on one hand, your communication skills are good, means surely or gradually, I can say that certainly you will improve your presentation skills also. Just I have given you an example, students. So while presenting your strength, present it in a very humble manner. But the most important part is that you can present those weaknesses where chances of growth is there. Students, we are generally under impression that interview is a one-way process. It's not like that. In fact, interview is a two-way process. So we need to ask some smart questions to the panelist. We are also going to ask some smart questions to the panelist. We means the students who is going to appear for the interview. He has to prepare some questions. He has to read out the job profile very carefully and prepare some questions, 3-4 questions, which he can ask to the panelist. Now, what questions he can ask to the panelist? He can ask about the detailed job profile. He can ask means he can discuss about the detailed job profile. He can, you can try to find out which are those additional skills are required to get better promotions in shortest possible time. You can also discuss about the salary part also or the location part also. But the most important point is that students, you need to develop a good rapport with the panelist so that you can get most of the answers of your questions. But what is required? You need to read out the job profile very carefully. And once you read it out and once you understand it, you can prepare some smart questions that can be asked to the panelist. Students, try to connect your skills with the company needs. For example, if the job opportunity is into sales and marketing, And if you are good enough in your presentation skills, definitely 100% you will be selected for that particular organization. So try to understand the skill set that company is expecting and try to connect the skills that you have developed with the company needs. Students, can you see this last sentence on this particular slide? Prepare to talk about your specific accomplishments or achievements. Understand? Prepare a talk of around 2 to 3 minutes for about 2 to 3 minutes for your specific achievements or accomplishments. So what achievements you can tell them? You can discuss with them about your academic achievements. You can discuss with them about the skill set or your internship experience with the industry officials if you have got any special appreciation certificate from the industry. And you can also discuss with them about if you have achieved any sports skills also, or if there is any substantial achievement, you can discuss with them. So students, please prepare a talk of around 2 to 3 minutes so that you can tell the company officials about your achievements, about your accomplishments. Students, initially, as we discussed that, we are going to read out the job profile very carefully. We are going to give preference to the job role. The next part was that we need to visit the company's official before we actually appear for the interview. This part is also important. Authentic information about your biodata. Authentic information about your biodata. Why authentic information is required? Authentic information is required because whatever that you have presented in your CV, especially at the initial stage of your career, these HR officials may give a phone call to your senior professors. They will talk to your HODs also, or sometimes even they will talk to your director and principal sir also. And they will try to find out whatever information that you have presented in your CV, that whether that information is an authentic information or not. So students, it's again a small request from my side. Whatever achievements that you have or whatever information that you have, please try to present it in a very authentic manner. Students, today's days are demanding days, as I said. Pharma industry is a skill-based industry, and we need to upgrade ourselves in knowing the recent developments which are happening in the scientific areas also. Apart from that, students, if you are applying for any production job or quality control job, try to find out which manufacturing technology is being presently used in that industry. It is very important for all of us. Understand? Try to get some awareness about commercial activities also. These activities might be, as you know, that there might be some political factors, economical factors which are affecting the business. Try to find out that companies' competitors also. It will help you, or it will help you a lot during your interview discussion with the panelists and students. Students, the most important part in our life is that we must have a proud of our own profession and the progress that we have carried out in our life. Here, as you can see here, purposefully I have made the underline this sentence. Proud of your own profession and the progress. Why we should have a proud of our own profession? Because if there is a proud of your own profession, you can develop positive attitude. Once positive attitude is developed, there will be a self-belief in your own self-capabilities. Self-belief in your own self-capabilities. And once there is a self-belief, you can enter into a right frame of mind. And students, once you enter into a right frame of mind, not only these interviews, but even at your daily routine or daily life also, students, it will help you a lot. It will help you a lot because you have a proud of your own profession. So you will be succeed not only in these interviews, but in your general day-to-day life also, it will help you a lot. If you look at the great leader students, those who are at the top position today, you can see that They have self-belief in their own capabilities. They are optimistic in nature. And more than that, look at their confidence level. Their confidence level is high. It is more than 100% students. And great leaders are the leaders. They not only look at their progress and expansion of their organization, but more than that, they will try to motivate their employees. What is the greatest asset of any company? The greatest asset of any organization is that their employees are motivated. So great leaders always try to see that how he or she can motivate their employees. It is very important from all of us. Students, just for your understanding, I have prepared this slide. Look at this slide very carefully. 8th is the date on which we are appearing for the interview. Just imagine. 8th is the date on which we have planned the interviews. Now, what will happen on that day? First thing is that we have to find out the exact location or a landmark, nearby landmark, so that we can reach that place at least 10 to 15 minutes earlier. That is most important from all of us. See, if your interviews are at your institute level, no problem. But if your interviews are at some metro cities, find out the exact location at least one day earlier and the nearby landmark so that you can reach there at least 10 to 15 minutes earlier. Students, those who are serious about their career, those who have decided to go ahead in life, to progress in life, you will find out these 3 changes at the time of interview. There will be a slight increase in the body temperature. Your palms might be sweaty. Your respiration rate has also been increased. And there is a slight nervous energy also. So, even though these 3 signals are there, students, don't get afraid at all. These are the signs of those students who has decided to progress or to go ahead in life. Understand? Now, students, how we can present ourselves and how we can present our documents. Being as a pharmacy students, you can understand the importance of formal dress. Why formal dress is required? Formal dress is required not only to successfully crack the interview, but apart from that, students, we can gain the trust and we can command the respect from the officials also. If you are in a good formal dress, understand please. Try to avoid the new clothes. Why we should avoid the new clothes? Because generally we are not comfortable in new clothes, particularly on that day. So please avoid the new clothes. Students, today I'm going to tell you very simple and basic steps. But these simple and basic steps can make big difference. Can you remember that slide where only of those 5 students were selected because opening was for only 1 person? Understand? So before going for any of these interview, students, we need to prepare ourselves well. You can have a pen with you. All the documents you can arrange in a logical and in a very sequential manner. And you can have 1 copy of application, extra copy of biodata, and certificates of qualifying exam should be with you. No need to carry the original ones. You can have photocopies, that is Xerox copies with you. And please do not present any certificates or documents unless and until it has been asked by the panelist. Yes, if you have some relevant documents related with that particular profile, then and then only you can present it to the officials. Otherwise, in general practice, it is absolutely not required that you need to present it. If it has been asked by the panelist, you can show it to them. Once your interview is over, you can collect all your certificates. Students, look at this sentence. Don't appear desperate. Don't appear desperate. You need to reflect the 3 C's during your interview, students, interview process. Which are those 3 C's? One is cool, calm, and confident. Confidence level has to be not only 100%, but confidence level has to be more than 100%, students. How we can enter, how we can sit, and how we can exit, that we'll discuss now. As we know that first impression is the last impression. So once you enter into the interview cabin, immediately those people should feel that, yes, this is the right person that they are looking for. Nowadays, we all of us carry mobile phones with us. So please switch off or turn off your phone before entering into the interview cabin. Once they announce your name, knock the door twice, thrice. Knock the door twice, thrice, then and then only you can enter into the interview cabin. Once you enter into the interview cabin, look at your watch. Watch for the timing. If it is a morning session, you can say that good morning to all. If it is afternoon session, you can say good afternoon to all. Accordingly, you need to approach the panelist. After greeting the interviewers, sit down only after you are asked to and say thank you before being seated. It is very important, students. That shows that how well you are into your etiquettes and manners. Say thank you before being seated. It is very, very important, students. Sit straight. While sitting, sit straight. Why we should sit straight? Because it shows that you are a confident person. Please do not keep any paper material on their table. You can keep it with you only. No need to keep it on their table directly. This third sentence is very important, students. I have seen in my teaching career, whenever we used to ask the questions to the students used to answer it by looking at the windows, by looking at the doors, by looking at the outside. This practice will not be accepted in the corporate world. Here, whenever you get any questions from this panelist, look at their eyes, look at the eyes of the interviewer, and then you can answer that question. It will help you to show your confidence level. They can judge your confidence level if you look at their eyes of their interviewer. It will help you to, it will help you to exhibit that your domain knowledge is also perfect. So in general, it will help you a lot, and there will be a positive reflection from your candidate. Sometimes, students, there might be a space problem, so you can replace the chair at the original place before leaving the room. This also shows the etiquettes and manners. Replace the chair at the original place before leaving the room. Look at this last sentence on this particular slide, students. While moving out, step back first. Once your interview is over, while moving out, step back first. Then you can take a turn and then you can walk away. Look at the process that we have followed once your interview is over. Step back first. Then you can take a turn and then you can walk away. Oh, this is very interesting picture, as you can see here. This is the picture of poor interview technique, students. Look at this picture very carefully. If you look at this picture, what conclusion that you can draw? Look at the way by which he is approaching to the panelist. Look at the way by which he is approaching to the panelist. He might be carrying some superiority complex attitude, or his nature might be an aggressive nature also. Look at the way by which he has rested his hands on the chair. Look at this person. And look at his confidence level. He is in an overconfident attitude. More than that, students, he is not serious about his career. That's why he has appeared for the interview in a very casual manner. In a very casual manner. Look at him, students, carefully. Do you think that such students will be selected? No, not at all. In fact, such type of students will be rejected in first 5 to 6 minutes only. Understand? Students, I'm going to show you a very interesting and different picture on my next slide. Look at this picture. Look at this picture, students, carefully. What conclusion that you can draw after looking at this picture? You can see that he is a confident person. He is smiling. His approach is smiling. Smiling means he is welcoming any question. He is a confident, but at the same time, he is not at all overconfident also. Look at his hands, students. His hands are in a very stable position. They are folded and they are in a very stable position. And if you look at his entire personality appears to be in a very positive manner. That is highly, highly required, students. If you compare this picture, you can see a major difference in these two pictures. So this is the picture of good interview technique. Students, my request to all of you is that please remember this picture throughout your life. Even if you get any experience and even if you apply for further jobs, for the better opportunities, look at this picture very carefully, the way by which he is presenting himself for the interview. Now we'll see how we can answer the questions. First thing is that listen the questions carefully. If you have not understood the question, definitely you can politely request for repeat. Understand? But try to listen it very carefully, first of all. As you know that, students, in this interview process, HR officials are involved. Not only technical people, HR officials are also there, and they will try to judge your thinking skills or your thought process also. Or they will try to judge your communication skills. They will try to see what are your objectives for your life also. So they are expecting the answers in a more elaborative manner. You need to present your answer in a more elaborative manner. But generally, the answers are being given in a shorter formats only. No need to give the answers in a longer ones. You can give the answers in a longer ones only when if it is required. If it is required. Look at this sentence, students. Show confidence, but not arrogance. Show confidence, but not arrogance. There is a thin line between confidence and arrogance. There is a thin line between confidence and arrogance, and that thin line has to be maintained. Understand? That thin line has to be maintained between confidence and arrogance. At any point of time, these officials should not feel that you seems to be an arrogant person. Students, please note that even though you are good in your academics, even though you are good in your skills also, but if you shows any kind of arrogance, there is no opportunity for you. Company can call next person for the interview. So show confidence, but not arrogance. As I know that you are from such a highly reputed institute and your academic skills are good, but sometimes you may get some questions where you may not be able to answer those questions. For example, if the panelists ask you what is the present turnover of pharmaceutical industry in India, and if you are not knowing the exact answer of those questions, how will you answer it? Where you can say that, sir, I think, or as far as I know, these are the two words that you can use. So in your general interview, students also, if you are not 100% sure about your answers, you can use these words like, sir, I think, or sir, as far as I know. So this is how you can use these words. Try to speak clearly and loudly in the interview. Don't waste the time of interviewer students. Answer should not be given in a raised voice even when the question comes in that manner. It is also important. Sometimes some of the panelists have a tendency to ask the question in a raised voice. So even when the question comes in that manner, we are not going to answer it in same fashion. But we need to present our answer in a very humble way. Understand? Don't give any additional information. Please avoid it. Please avoid it. Sometimes this additional information can be dangerous. It may have a bad impact on your final interview. For compliments, say thank you to the panelist. See, just imagine if they are going through your resume, and in your resume, if you have mentioned about your academic career, and if they are happy with your academic career, about your distinction marks, then they may say, yes, you have got very good marks. Immediately, students, we should say thank you to the panelists, because they are complimenting your performance. They are appreciating your performance. We sometimes, students, we may not be able to answer few of the questions. In that case, we can say sorry to the panelist. Now, students, as far as interactions is concerned, body language is important. Body language says a lot about you. This is the best example of students' body language. Look at the body language of this person. Look at the smiling approach. Look at the way by which he has folded his hands. They are in a very stable position. Look at the way by which he is presenting his entire candidature, his entire personality. It appears to be so positive, and it looks in a very stable manner. And as far as body language is concerned, as I told you earlier, you need to sit straight so that you can show your confidence level. And while answering a question, look at the eyes of the interviewer. Look at the eyes of the interviewer. That shows that your confidence level is again very high. Please avoid any disagreement with the interviewer. We are not there to have any contradictions or disagreement with the panelist. We are there to secure a job. So please try to avoid it, students. Another important factor is that, students, please use a simple language which can be easily understood by everyone. And do not criticize any other person, group, or a nation also. If you criticize your earlier employer, or if you criticize somebody, it means that your nature is of a criticizing nature. So what that interviewer will feel? He will feel that your nature is of a criticizing nature, and probably you may criticize their employees also later on. So please do not criticize any other person or a group or a nation also. Whatever achievements that you have, students, you need to have a proof of it. If somebody asks you, please show me the proof of it, or can I see the certificates? So students, whatever achievements that you can mention in your biodata, CV, you can have a proof of it, please. Don't be too familiar with the panelists. This sentence is very, very important. Don't be too familiar with the panelists. On one hand, students, we are saying that please try to develop a good rapport with the panelist. But at the same time, don't be too familiar with the panelist, because you will lose that professional approach, and the entire seriousness in that interview process will go lost. So don't be too familiar with the panelist also. In some cases, students, those officials will directly tell you about your joining date. They will also discuss about the location of the job and the salary also. And where you can have a better interaction or discussion with this official and set a definite date. Sometimes, students, sometimes you may not get selected. But don't be too discouraged at all, even though you are not selected. Don't be too discouraged at all, even though you are not selected, or any specific salary is discussed. You can have, or you can get better opportunities in your life. Students, again, we have to thank the interviewer, because they have considered your case. They have given enough time to you to present your candidature. In some cases, students, follow-up is required. See, as I told you, if you apply on your own and if you get selected from the first interview round, we need to take the follow-up. This follow-up might be through a written communication, or it might be through a oral communication also. Written communication means we need to write an email to that officials in a very professional manner. And as far as oral communication is concerned, whenever you make a phone call to these officials, first say good morning, good afternoon, as per the time schedule, and then you can request them, sir, are you available so that we can discuss, or sir, what would be your convenient time so we can discuss about my job opportunity, or about my second round of interview. So in some cases, students follow-up is required. Now, what are the second interview tips, students? In the first interview, as we discussed that through 20 students, company has shortlisted only 5 students. And now you are into that 5 students who are going to appear for a second round of interview. Again, in the second round of interview, students, you need to be very positive because you have already made a good impression. That's why you are into second interview. But there is one important part, that is, maintain your professionalism and don't assume that you have already got the job. This sentence is very important. Maintain your professionalism and don't assume that you have already got the job. Look at the basic difference in these two sentences. On one hand, we are saying that I am a positive. We need to present it in a very positive way. And remember that you have made a good impression. But at the same time, students, don't be too familiar. Maintain the professional approach. Make your responses and your questions very specific and detailed as far as possible, students. Second interview is the right platform where you can clear all your doubts and queries. So students, as I told you in the beginning, whenever you read the job profile very carefully, please prepare some set of questions that can be asked to the panelist. The questions might be related with the skill set. It might be related with your further promotions. It might be related with understanding your job profile very carefully. So try to develop a good rapport. Try to build a good rapport with the interviewer throughout the discussion. And you can get the answers of your queries. Again, student, thank the interviewer for the opportunity that you have got to present your case. Now let's look at some of these negative factors, students, because there are some negative factors because of which you have been not selected. Which are those? First is, students, the poor personal appearance. As I told you in the beginning, being as a pharmacy students, we need to present ourselves in a formal dress. Why formal dress is required? It is not only required to crack the interview, but apart from that, you can gain the trust and you can command the respect from the officials also. As far as aggressive and superiority complex is concerned, students, can you remember that picture of a bad interview technique? This is the picture of a poor interview technique. Look at the way by which this person is approaching. He might be carrying some superiority complex attitude, or his nature might be a very aggressive nature. Understand? So students, aggressive and superiority complex could be one of the reasons that may affect on your final interview performance. Answering the questions even before asked. Sometimes we have seen that some students answer the questions even before it is being asked. First, listen the question carefully. Try to find out what answer he is expecting from you, and then you can answer the question. So listening skills are also important, students. Inability to express the thoughts. As I told you in my earlier part, students, sometimes these officials will ask you some questions through which they will try to find out, or they will try to judge your thinking skills, your thought process, or they will try to find out your objectives also, or the approach towards life also. So please try to explain it in a more elaborative manner if it is required. So inability to express thoughts could be one of the reasons, and it may have a bad impact on your final interview selection process. Lack of interest and enthusiasm. I have seen some students, they appear for the interview just for the sake of getting the experience of the interview. This practice should not be practiced at a corporate level. If you are thoroughly interested, then and then only go and appear for the interview, students. Lack of courtesy. It also has a bad impact on your final selection process. See, once you enter into the interview cabin, immediately we should say good morning, good afternoon to the panelist. Once your interview is over, you can thank the panelist for considering your case. Lack of knowledge about the company is one of the students' most serious factor. See, as I told you in the beginning, once you read out job profile very carefully, then you need to find out the official website of the company. Through website, you can get the details about the company profile. You can get the details about into which business area this company is operating, what are the different products of the company, and what are the different branch locations where this company is having their manufacturing activities or units. So, students, these are the different factors which has a bad impact on your final selection process. Please keep in mind that poor personal appearance, negative superiority complex, answering the questions even before asked, lack of knowledge about the company. Students, there are some commonly interview questions also. If they ask you, tell me about yourself. Now, what you are going to present. You can discuss with them about your education and discuss with them about the skills that you have acquired during your 4 years of course. Because company always wants to see that how your skills and education is matching with the company's requirements. So even when the question is on tell me about yourself, please try to see that how your skills are equally or how your skills will help the company to achieve their objectives. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Definitely you will get this one question on your strengths and weaknesses. While presenting your strength, present it in a very humble manner. And while describing your weaknesses, you can present those weaknesses where chances of growth is there. What strengths generally you can tell them? You can tell them that, sir, I am a self-motivated person. I follow strong ethical principles also. And more than that, I am a good listener also. Because as I told you, listening skills are very important. If they ask you why we should hire you, again, students, try to summarize your skills and please tell them that, sir, I am a confident person and I am sure that I could be the right person who can be a great addition to your team also. Why do you want this particular job? If you get such kind of question, many times it has been happened that generally we talk about, sir, your company is great, your brand name is great. That's why I want to join this organization. This is not the expected answer. The officials, those who are into selection process, they know that their company is great. Then there is no need from our side to tell them that your company is great. Instead of that, you can talk about your goals, short-term goals and long-term goals. You can tell them that, sir, this is the perfect position for me and I have got all those requisite skills so that I can achieve or I can fulfill my short-term and long-term goals. This is the best opportunity for me. How would you describe yourself? If you get such question, again, student, as I told you in the beginning, prepare a talk of around 2 to 3 minutes for your achievements and accomplishments. And please try to tell them that how you are a good team player, because in industry we have to work in a team. How long would you stay with the company? As I told you in the beginning, students, it is very important. Please tell them that, sir, as long as I'm growing professionally, there is no reason for me to make a move. Are you willing to relocate? If you get such question, what will be your answer? Generally, the thing is that company officials try to see that if they are happy with your performance, if they are happy with the skills that you have developed or achieved, then company officials may offer you the position for another location, because they want to see that how they can minimize their rejection, because they are appreciating your performance. And my own strengths. What questions do you have for me? As I told you in the beginning, students, interview is not a one-way process. It's a two-way process. So don't hesitate to ask the question. Don't waste this opportunity and ask them some smart questions. Understand? Let's look at some of the challenges that you might face into the corporate world. Once you get selected, as you know that if you go for any department, whether it is a production, whether it is sales and marketing, or any department, everywhere students' targets will be there. But these targets has to be achieved in a particular time frame. So time management skills are highly essential for all of us students. Can you remember that one of my, I have shown in earlier first part of my few slides, where there was one function that we need to perform to achieve the consistent results. The word consistent is important. To achieve the consistent results, but this result has to be produced in certain time frame without compromising on the standard practices or without compromising on the quality aspects of the drugs and pharmaceuticals. Accepting the hard facts and try to learn it very quickly, it is also required. See, once you get selected, some senior officials will be involved to train you, because initially training is required. While giving you the training, if some of these officials tell you that these are the certain areas in which you need to improve your performance, students, please accept it in a very positive way. Don't accept it in a negative manner, students. Accept it in a positive way, because they are appreciating your performance. So try to accept the hard facts, and more than that, students, try to learn it very quickly. Very quickly is important. Accepting the workplace culture and feedback. Students, here we are in an academic protective environment. There is no such system where feedback mechanism is needed. But once you join the industry, as I told you, targets are there. To achieve the targets, you need to plan it accordingly. So once you complete your day's work, you need to give feedback to the higher authorities. Understand? Focused approach and management skills and technical skills are highly needed, students. Focused approach, management skills, what type of skills are needed? Planning is required. Planning nothing but deciding in advance what is to be done, how it is to be done, how we are going to do it. Second thing is that you need to have some controlling aspects also. If the prepared plan is not going as per your expectations, then there might be some mistakes. So to have some controlling aspects also. Third thing is that students, you need to have good decision making skills also. How you can improve your decision making skills? Decision making skills will be improved only if there is a better 3H attitude. Understand? 3H attitude means hand, head, and heart. Heart means involvement. If there is a better involvement, you can get better experience. And students with better experience, your decision making ability will be improved. Nowadays, students' technical skills are highly needed also. You need to upgrade your skills in a very effective manner, because as you know that technology is speeding up very fastly. So as per we need to learn the latest technical skills also. Working in a team, as I told you in the beginning part also, self-motivation is highly needed, because once you join the industry, students, we need to achieve the targets. While achieving the targets, obstacles will be there, challenges will be there. So to achieve those targets, you might have to face some obstacles and challenges. That's why students, you need to have a self-motivation. Then and then only you can face those challenges and you can achieve the targets also. Why attitude is more important than aptitude? It is also important to learn or to understand why attitude is more important than aptitude. If there is a better attitude, you can learn new skills very easily. Sometimes it may happen that students, you are good in your aptitude skills, but if you are not good enough in your attitude, it may affect the company's overall performance. The entire teamwork in the company may get disrupted and it may cause total unrest. So attitude can impact overall performance also. Right attitude can overcome obstacles also. As I told you, to achieve the targets, you might have to face some obstacles and challenges. So right attitude can help you to overcome those obstacles and challenges. Look at this slide, students, carefully. A, B, C, D, 26 letters are there, A to Z. 26 letters are there. Below each letter, I have written down the numbers. 1 to 26 letters are there. Students, right from beginning, I am talking about not only about the interview skills, but about positive attitude also. How attitude is more important. Let's look at the spelling of attitude. A-T-T-I-T-U-D-E. And look at the numbers. If you carry out the addition of these numbers, A1, T20, the total goes to 100%. So success will not be far ahead from you because we have changed our attitude, students. Now, what essential qualities are needed, students? Once you get selected, good health is required because you need to be physically and mentally fit to join the organization. Second thing is that you should have good problem solving skills also. As I told you, why company has given the advertisement? One reason is that company might be looking for progress and expansion. And second thing is that company might not be happy with the person who is already working. There might be some rejection. So to minimize that rejection in the production, company might be looking for a good person like you who can solve the rejections. Willingness to learn and ability to take initiative is also needed, students. For example, if you join any organization for a production department or for a quality control departments, and if company wants to replace the technology which is being presently used in that industry, we need to learn the new technology. So willingness to learn is very important. Willingness to learn will also help you to learn the functioning of the other departments also. Ability to take initiatives is highly, highly needed, students. Those days have gone when people used to do their jobs very routinely. But now the situation has been changed. Now you need to take more initiatives. More initiatives means create attitude. Commitment and self-discipline is highly needed. Commitment towards profession, commitment towards job. Communication skills, presentation skills, and interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills means other departmental heads skills. You need to have good relationship with the other departmental heads also. Basic domain knowledge. We are generally under impression that in interview they are going to ask us very difficult question. It's not like that. In fact, in the interview they will ask you very simple and basic questions. So my request to all of you is that please have a thorough reading on all of your notes right from your first year. And if you have any difficulties, you can consult your professors also. So basic domain knowledge will not be compromised anywhere at all. Basic management skills, as I discussed with you many times. Students, look at this rainbow. If you look at this person, why this person is more happier? Why this person is more happier? Students, 7 colors means 7 qualities. These are the 7 qualities: good health, problem solving, willingness to learn, commitment, skills, domain knowledge, and management skills. So these 7 colors means 7 quality students that this person has developed or achieved, and because of which he has entered into a corporate world. But students, as I told you in the beginning, are we going to remain on that position for a long time? No, we are going to progress ourselves, because companies, nature itself is of a progressive nature. So try to find out the 7 qualities. If you introspect yourself well, then you can find out one more rainbow is there. This one more rainbow means, students, introspection. Means these are the 7 qualities which are already within you. So there will be a better combination of these 7 plus these 7. Total goes to 14. You need not require anybody's references. You can get better salary, you can get better brand name, you can get better jobs also. So students, what is required? You need to introspect ourselves and try to find out these 7 qualities which are already within you and try to make it more darker. Understand? As far as students' CV preparation is concerned, what CV is going to represent? CV is going to represent your skills, work experience, and knowledge. Please note that your CV has to be arranged in a more chronological manner. You can put your B.Pharm degree at highest. Those who are M.Pharm, they can put M.Pharm at the top level, then B.Pharm, then 12th marks, then 10th marks. You can give the details about your institute name from where you have completed your course. Give the details about your university. Give the details about your percentage, marks also. Students, if you look at the resume formats, there are a number of formats which are available on the internet. In most of these formats, students, you can see at the headed part of your resume, or in most of these resumes, where you can see that applicant name is there, address is there, contact number is there, and email address, email ID. Here again is a small request from my side. Please prepare your email address in a very professional way, in a very professional manner. CV profile or a CV summary statement. This is the most important part of your CV, students, CV summary. This CV summary is going to present your personal characteristics, is going to present your skills and qualities that you have developed, and more than that, how your profile is absolutely suitable with that organization is going to be presented in this CV summary statement. So in most of the cases, students, the interview is based on this CV personal profile. Present it in a very confident and in an effective way. Project details. I know that there might be some projects, short-term projects or long-term projects. Give the details about your title, team size, what was the project duration, and more than that, what you have learned throughout that project is very important. You can give the details about your technicals and interpersonal skills. And one more request from my side. You can have a special column in your resume where you can mention about your achievements. Your achievements, as I said, might be in the form of academic, or you might have some special prize certification from the industry, or you might have participated in some of the activities which were organized by the institutes. So there should be a separate column in the space to write down your achievements. What are the general tips, students, to prepare your CV? You can give the relevant information which is absolutely needed for that particular profile. You can use the numbered points, numbered list, and bullet points so that Your CV will be transparent. Try to make it very simple as far as possible and short also. As we know that we all are freshers, so our focus is on qualification, our grades, and our achievements. Your resume should be crisp and it should not be of a one page. It should not exceed more than one page. In few cases, I can understand that resume can be of a 2 page, but generally it is of a 1 page. You can also have a give the details about the languages you can read, write, and speak well also. While putting these lines, students maintain proper spacing and margins. It is also important. And use the best of fonts which are generally practiced in the industry. No need to use the fancy ones. You can use the best fonts. Don't use the same resume for apply for all jobs. As I told you, students, if you are applying for production job, your resume will be different. If you are applying for marketing job, your resume will be different. And the most important is that your resume will be prepared as per the need of company profile. After reading the company profile, don't forget to carry out a proofreading of your resume. Why proofreading is required? Can you remember that one of my very first picture of my presentation? Microscope. Why microscopic examination is required? It is required that we need to find out some mistakes in our resume. It might be some grammatical mistakes, or mistakes might be in the form of comma, full stop, or the way by which entire CV has been arranged. So you can consult your senior professors also, or even you can discuss with the senior officials from the industry also, and try to find out some areas for the better performance. Luckily, if you have got any experience, you can give the details about work experience and the skills, mainly the skills that you have acquired during your employment. Students, as we know that pharmacists are regarded as one of the most trusted professions in the world. I will end my presentation with the saying of Swami Vivekananda ji, as you can see here. Believe in yourself and the world will be at your feet. So self-belief is required, students. Self-belief, then and then only you can enter into a right frame of mind. Before I close my presentation, very fastly I can repeat some of those very important contents. Of course, all contents are important. Initially, we have discussed about industry, our industry, pharma industry. Then students, as you know that our industry has been called as the pharmacy of the world. Why this person has been selected? Only because of his skills and etiquettes and manners. You need to present your nature in a very progressive manner, students. You should have good communication skills, computer skills, and 3H attitude, hand, head, and heart. Heart means involvement. Then students give preference to the job role. Visit the company's official website before appearing for the interview. Don't hesitate to ask the questions. Present your strengths in a very humble manner. Present those weaknesses where chances of growth is there. Prepare a talk of around 2 to 3 minutes about your achievements. You should have a proud of your own profession. Give the authentic information about your biodata. Find out which technology is being presently used in that industry. Use formal dress for the interview. Then student, you need to have a cool, calm and confident approach throughout the interview. Greet the interviewers, knock the door twice, thrice, then and then only you can enter into the interview cabin. Say thank you before being seated. Sit straight, look at the eyes of interviewer while answering the question. This is the picture of poor interview technique. Don't look at this picture, student. Look at this picture very carefully. Look at the way by which he is presenting himself. Smiling means welcoming any question. Folded hands, they are in a very stable position. And his entire personality appears to be in a very positive manner. Answer the questions carefully. Give short answers, no need to give the longer answers. Show confidence but not arrogance. Don't waste the time of interviewer. Body language, as we discussed a lot. Don't be too familiar with the panelist so that professional approach will get lost. Thank the interviewer. Some cases follow-up is required. Try to build a good rapport throughout the interview process. Then and then only you will be able to get your answers and queries. You will get the answers of your doubts. Thank the interviewer once again, student. But most important part is maintain your professional approach. Don't assume that you have already got the job. Negative factors we have discussed a lot. Inability to express thoughts, poor personal appearance, superiority complex attitude, lack of courtesy, lack of knowledge about the company. Commonly interview questions we have discussed a lot. As far as challenges are concerned, targets are everywhere. So targets needs to be achieved in certain time frame. We need to learn some areas where our performance is not up to the mark. Accept it in a positive way. Don't accept it in a negative way. Feedback mechanism has to be developed. At the same time, students, as you know that technology is speeding up very fastly. So we should have in general focused approach towards our profession and try to learn management skills, new technical skills also. Self-motivation is needed because there are many obstacles and challenges. Attitude is more important than aptitude. We have discussed about this slide. A to Z letters, 26 letters. Spelling of attitude, A01T20, total goes to 100%. Success will not be far ahead from you. Good qualities, 7. Good health, problem solving approach, learning skills, learning attitude, commitment, domain knowledge, communication skills, and basic management skills. 7 colors means 7 qualities. So that's why this person is happy. But if you introspect yourself, these 7 qualities are also with you. So if the combination of these 7 plus these 7, you can achieve better promotions in shortest possible time. As far as CV is concerned, present it in a chronological manner. Write down your email address in a very professional way. CV personal profile is the most important part of your CV. You can mention your project details, skills also, and make a separate column for your achievements. If you have got any special prize appreciation, or if you have participated in any of those activities. As far as tips are concerned, make your CV very simple, short, use best fonts, and you can use bullet points and numbered list. Maintain proper spacing in the margin. It should be of a 1 page only, and use the best fonts as I said. Don't use the same resume for all jobs. And lastly, students, don't forget to carry out a proofreading of your resume. And lastly, students, self-belief is required because I'm sure that you are from such a reputed institute, and with the self-belief in your own capabilities, you will enter into a right frame of mind. So thank you very much to all of you once again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with you on this very special subject, that is journey from campus to corporate. Students, before I complete my today's presentation, please note that you are representing that industry who has been called as pharmacy of the world. Why we are called as the pharmacy of the world? 2 reasons. One is that our manufacturing cost is low if we compare it with other countries, and we have never compromised on the quality of the medicines. Our medicines are preferred worldwide. So thank you very much, and best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Your presentation was very informative, and I should wholeheartedly appreciate you for not only concentrating on the aptitude, but also the attitude. I also personally believe that that is very, very important when somebody has to face the corporate world, because it is the right attitude that takes people to the right places, and wrong attitude definitely takes them to the wrong places. And I'm very glad that you highlighted that aspect in your presentation. And indeed, it was very, very useful for all the people who would like to face this corporate world. And on behalf of Chebrolu Hanmaya Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, I thank you once again for your time and for your information.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And I also thank all the participants for being a part of this webinar. And with a short vote of thanks, I would like to conclude this webinar. So at the outset, I would like to thank the management and principal of Chebrolu Hanmaya Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences for assuring this subject so that it will be useful for the students and making this day possible with our speaker, Mr. Bhagwat sir. Thank you so much, the management and the principal.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And I also thank the teaching faculty for extending their hands, making sure that this is reaching to all the students that are in need for this and making them participate in this. And last but not the least, I thank all the non-teaching staff and every member associated with this institute for their cooperation. Thank you. With this, we conclude this webinar.
Thank you, sir. Best wishes to all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.